All right, today's Sunday, March 16th, and this is going to be a pretty interesting week coming up. Of course, FOMC is always a potential volatile week, especially with the the environment that we're trading in now, right? We're dealing with interest rates, we're dealing with potential decline of the U.S. economy, threats of recession. Even though I feel like we already hit that point, and of course the tariffs going back and forth with Trump and affecting market volatility. But let's start off with the Euro USD. That's primarily what I'm still focused on for the last week and a half or 2 weeks. Um, had a couple of trades on, and just to backtrack a little bit. So some of the shorts, I had short positions uh, previously about 1.07, maybe 83. I would have to look back to see what positions I had, but um, I do have other positions at 1.0815 and 1.0890 to 93, I believe. Again, I would have to look back, but I'm still holding short positions here. Now, the reason why last week I was looking for a potential reversal, at least a slowdown of this move up, and the reason is because I still had a trend line drawn up, which I'll draw up right now, resistance to this support area. So discounting this move here, actually, I can't actually replay. Oh, I can't replay. We would right here. So I was thinking, okay, we hit that level of resistance. We had a trend line right there, and the market respected it. So moving forward, once we got this candle, I said, okay, there's a good possibility that we can start retracing a little bit or get some bearish momentum going on. Well, next day the market pushed a lot higher. Now I didn't want to close my short positions yet because I still felt that we were coming up on a potential resistance point, which I'm going to show you right now in a second. And then obviously we came back below that, and this is where we are right now. Market's about to go open up in a few hours. So remove this. So I said, okay, let me see what if there is a potential resistance area for me to kind of hold on to my position to see if it works itself out, or if we're going to get aggressively higher and I have to close my positions and then reevaluate what I want to do in terms of getting involved in the market. So the first thing is using a Fibonacci retracement tool all the way from the top to the bottom here. And you can see that we jumped over that 69.3% and came right back down. Now we're finding resistance here. The second thing, aside from this, let me just remove this here. The second thing I was looking at is the pivot levels, the pivot points. So we were coming up on a potential pivot area that I wanted to see if the market was going to just shoot past it or it was going to respect it as some resistance. And I'll lay that out right now. These are the pivot points for the year. I always use yearly pivot points. I feel like they work best for my trading strategy, which is swing trading. But of course, if I really backtrack, if you go back, I was talking about the move to the upside, and I wanted to see some resistance here at the main pivot point, and then we shot up to the median level, which we did find a little bit of a hiccup before the next move up, and then finally we made another move up, and we found a good amount of resistance here at R2 or resistance 1, R1, and the market now pulled back. Now on Friday, we still had this move here, this green move, this green candle. So we did end Friday on a bullish note. Now my question is that I'm looking at is the market gonna use this as leverage to push back up over this R1, or is it gonna consolidate in this area before we start pulling back and make a significant move to the downside, meaning back below 1.08 or 1.08, and see if we can extend that further. But first, I want to see if this market is going to end up pushing higher above this, or uh, you know, again, this is just going to consolidate before FOMC on Wednesday, and then we'll see, if we're going to get an aggressive move to either the upside or the downside. Now, the next level, at least strictly in terms of pivot points, would be all the way up here at 1.122, and that's significantly higher than where we are now. But there is also, now, just before I keep on going, if anybody's looking at their yearly pivot points, you're not going to have these median levels on there. This is kind of a customized version that I put together based on the previous years of me using the pivot points. There's always a median level in between these other levels. And if we go further into that, there's also something I refer to intermediate levels. And I have this option here. So if I double click and I have median levels, if I turn this off, you see I just have the regular pivot point levels, like the main pivot point, R1, R2, and so forth. But if I go into the options, I can enable the median levels, and I can also enable intermediate levels, which would give me another level of support and resistance, which is, it's a very fine line, but you could probably still see it right over here. You see over here, we found some resistance right over here. So if we're going to go based on that, the next potential resistance point, if we start trading higher, be about let's say about 1.108, somewhere right in here. So, but before we get into move forward into that, I want to see what this market wants to do moving forward, especially, again, like I said, FOMC week. And then I'm going to start deciding if I want to do a couple of things. Do I want to completely remove and close out all my positions? Do I want to backtrack and cut my position in half? Or do I want to just let it ride and see what this market's going to do? If we go to the weekly chart, I was talking about this potential support line going up, and it's kind of like drawn as a triangle. I don't have the trend line drawn on the top, but you can see the support here, support, support, support. Now I talked about, you can even see a little bit of support here, but I talked about the break below that, and this could be a potential, just a retrace and a retest of that break. And that's also something like keeping an eye on. You could see the 2 weeks ago found some resistance here, and then last week it closed still with respecting and staying below this trend line. So again, it's going to be an interesting week to see if the bulls kind of phase out, or if we're still going to see some significant strength. I mean, if you take a look here, this from all the way down here to 1.02, all the way up to a little above 1.09. I mean, that's a significant move in a short time frame. So we'll have to see if the bulls are actually ready to phase out and give up some of all these gains, either 50% of it or potentially all of it. So we'll have to see how we want to play this one. Going up to the other pairs, pound dollar, don't really see anything too significant. If I draw up some pivot levels here, it is finding some resistance here at the 61.8, or as I stated before, sometimes I use strictly Tesla numbers, and I use 369 as my reference point. So you can see between 60 and 63.69 it is finding some resistance, or at least a slowdown in this area. So don't really see anything clear enough on the pound dollar yet, but I'm keeping an eye on this one. Dollar yen looks like it's making one of those broadening patterns, but I don't see a divergence yet. What I found interesting is that if I draw a pattern here on the RSI, it does look like a wedge, and it looks like it's about to break out. So that could be signal a potential move to the upside, or maybe a little pullback and then a move to the upside. So this is an interesting thing, one to watch. I'm keeping an eye on this formation here, and also the price action on the dollar yen to see if any opportunities or clear enough opportunities show up to get involved in a trade here. So that's pretty much it for all the FX pairs. As far as stock market ETFs, I did close out my TQQQ ETF at a profit. It was a 30% profit, and this market was bound to bounce, so I wanted to just get out before that happened, which we got a strong rally on Friday. So the market closed, but for the week still it closed in the red. So that's still a good signal if you're on the short side. I actually wanted to my options. My strike price was way too far, so I was expecting a stronger fall from here, but I didn't want to risk it, so I just ended up taking the 30% profit, and that was it on that. So right now, I actually am involved in QQQE. If I zoom out here on the weekly chart, I do have a put option on this play here, and I'm looking for a move at least to 83. If we don't get that, then we start trading a little higher, back up to 90. I'll look to potentially close that one out. But right now, I feel that the momentum, at least we still have a little bit more downside before we start looking for a bottom and potentially make a run up. If I zoom all the way out, you can see this is overall, this just is a big uptrend. But nonetheless, we're trying to take advantage of the move to the both to the downside and the upside. So yeah, that's pretty much it for all the trades. But we'll see. This again, it's going to be an interesting week considering all the data that's coming out. If I look over here, we have retail sales tomorrow, and then we don't have anything until Wednesday. FOMC, which of course is the big is the big one everybody's watching for, and then Thursday we've got ECB's president Lagarde speaking. So those are the things to watch for. So I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll see what happens going forward. And like always, good luck and trade safe. I'll see you in the next one.